All right, hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming down and joining Nomad Life in India. Really appreciate you all taking the time. I just want to check, can you guys see the screen from over there? You all comfortable? All good? Okay, great, awesome. So guys, my name is Divi, also known as Divi the Audio Nomad, and I'm here to talk to you guys about what Nomad Life is like in India, which is a place that's not usually on the digital nomad map. So Vinny, if you could just go to the next slide, please. I want to first ask, for a show of hands, who's already been to India? Oh wow, quite a few fair of you, quite a lot of you, awesome. And who wants to go to India? Awesome. Who's scared of going to India or has some apprehensions? Nice, that's very natural, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. So we could go to the next slide. What I'm going to share today is a little bit about my story, a little bit about India, the growing nomad scene in India, including like the cost of living, which is probably the best in the world, problems that nomads face and just addressing them like as they are. And also, of course, talking about safety for women, super important point, and what a lot of people, want to like hear about today as well. And then a little bit about Jungli, which is the nomad village that my family and I run in the rainforests of South India. Has everyone got a Jungli brochure? Yeah, cool. That'll help you kind of follow along at some point. So if you don't have one, just raise your hand and we'll get you one. It's just a little map of our nomad village. And so in the last part, when we talk a little bit about our nomad village, it'll make a little bit of sense. So my family and I run this property. It's an ancestral land turned into India's first digital nomad village. That's the context for you. So guys, just a quick one about my story. I was born and raised in the jungles of India. A lot of my friends call me Mowgli. And you might see on that map, right up the top, there's a little bungalow without a label. That bungalow is named Navan, and that's the house where I was born and raised. And the reason why I grew up in this random middle of the jungle is all because of my great granddad. He was a bit of a hero. Lal Bhai Patel was his name, and he started a factory, which you'll see on your map at the bottom, in the middle of this jungle in 1955. So he actually got 5,000 freedom fighters, because he was a freedom fighter for India. He got 5,000 freedom fighters to move to the jungle, live in tents, and then build this factory, which was Asia's first ferroalloy factory. And that did really well. So in the 70s and 80s, our family was able to, my ancestors were able to build these villas and what are now our colivings that you can see in the map. But in 2001, it came to a close. So for 24 years, our land has been dormant, resting, abandoned, and that's most of my life. I'm 30 years old, 31 now. And so most of my life, I've seen my dad struggle with a land that has industrial expenses without the industrial income we once had. A lot of people see the map and they're like, oh wow, so much land, you guys must be rich. But it's actually quite an opposite story. Our balance sheet has been upside down for a long time. I've seen my parents have a lot of stress and view this land as a burden. But by the end of the story, you'll see how that story is now starting to transform. I also was lucky to live a decade in Australia, with 5 of those years working as the community lead, community manager for Uber Australia and New Zealand. That's me onboarding the first Uber drivers of Brisbane, Australia. And that's where I learned a lot of my community skills and startup skills. That's definitely coming in handy today at Jungli. And then for 3 years, I had my hippie era. I lived as an audio nomad in a camper van in Australia, and then 2 years backpacking India, which gave me a lot of insights, which is helping me run Jungli today. And I actually, one sec, just last thing. I record sounds of cities and I turn them into beats. So the Chiang Mai beat, while I've been here, is already out. It's out on my Instagram and it dropped on Spotify 2 hours ago. So if you're curious to hear what Chiang Mai sounds like in music, you can check out my music page later. Cool, thanks Vinny, next slide. So the turning point for me is one day I got invited by the government of Indonesia to, hey Martin, come join man. I got invited to experience Bitung Digital Nomad Village. This is a nomad village in the government in Indonesia. It's no longer exists, unfortunately. But the government was offering me free accommodation to just record their sounds and turn it into music, what I do. So that was a really awesome experience for me. But when I was there, something profound happened. It's like the world showed me a screenplay. It showed me a village that looked just like my family's hometown. It showed me beautiful local people that haven't met people from overseas, just like people from our village. And everyone had a great time. The nomads had a great time. The locals had a great time. There was a win-win across local community and the nomads. And I really started to see that there's an opportunity over here. there's an opportunity to turn our abandoned land that's sitting there with my parents aging, turning 60 plus, our financials as a family not getting any better, in fact getting worse year on year, that if we just get Wi-Fi across our beautiful bungalows and take some nice photos and attract my creative community that had started to grow, maybe we can turn it into a vibe. And that's how we launched Jungli, the Nomad Village, in April 2024. And Vinny here, my friend, has actually already visited Jungli, which is super cool to have someone that's been to the land. But today, what Jungli is it's turning into the premium destination for digital nomads in India. We're touching 500 Jungli arrivals. About next week, we estimate to hit 500 nomads from more than 15 countries. And this next statistic, thanks Vinny, is our proudest one as a family. More than 1 in 3 room nights in Jungli are booked by a solo female traveler. This is our main metric for the health and diversity of the community, and we want to see this number grow more and more. We're going to talk more about it at the end of the chat. Yep. Thanks, bro. This one is what my family and I are really happy to see. This massive monthly cash outflow that my family experiences just to keep the land alive, the salaries, the electricity. Can you imagine trimming 150 acres of landscaping and rainforest? It takes a lot of expense. We are now seeing with Jungli, this monthly cash outflow start to reduce. That's our revenue in 2024. Revenue in 2025, long way to go to till we break even, but my community, team, family, and I are absolutely deluded enough to believe that we're going to get there with nomad support from all over the world. All right. But before we go more into Jungli and things like that, let's zoom out. Let's talk about the amazing country that is India. This is one of my favorite photos of India because it shows you how insane the elevation is. You all know the Himalayas, or you might pronounce it as the Himalayas. It's the mountain range where Mount Everest is, and you can see just how high that is back there. You can see the beautiful sprawling grasslands of Meghalaya and the northeast India there, the Western Ghats where Jungli is, which is a mountain range in the west, and then stunning beaches and reefs, especially around Sri Lanka as well. So let's talk a little bit about India and have a bit of trivia. Go to the next one, please. So what are some major cities of India? If you guys have been to India, just put your hand up or just yell out. I want this to be a chill, interactive sesh. What are some major cities you know? Delhi, Mumbai, perfect. Bangalore, my home city, very nice. Except for my village, that's the other place where I grew up. Anyone else know any cities? Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi are the top 3. Hyderabad, wow, cool. Yep, nice that you know that. Cool, so those are some of the major cities in India. I just want to take a note to talk about the cities of India and be very clear. My Jungli community and I, we don't recommend nomad life in India, okay? Nivith has a phrase that I love repeating: India is not for beginners, and cities is where that stands out the most. Because you have a lot of people in India, and so a lot of them are packed into cities that can be loud, noisy, smelly, traffic. All of those things that you see on your websites and your news are about the cities. So if the cities are that bad, why am I here talking to you about how good India is as a nomad life destination? Because there are other secret spots that we know of that is not publicly advertised, right? So can we go to the next slide, please? What's cool around India? Anyone know? What are some countries around India that neighbor India that, could stitch together a good India trip for you? Put your hand up if you know any countries around India. Nepal, very nice. So Nepal over here is known for the Himalayas, of course, and for the Annapurna trek, Mount Everest, base camp, all of that. So Nepal's really good for mountains and Tibetan culture, soup, really nice. Any other countries around India anybody knows? Pakistan, yes. Not as, unfortunately, accessible and tourist-friendly and a little bit of political unrest, but a beautiful country which was once a part of India. In fact, my grandfather is from Pakistan, like a lot of Indian origin are. Sri Lanka, nice. I was hoping someone would say that. Sri Lanka is a beautiful upcoming country for digital nomads as well. Beautiful beaches, lots of diving, blue water, and also a good reputation for safety. So Sri Lanka is really nice. I also want to call out a little secret not a lot of people know. Thailand is right here, right? So this is Burma. The Thailand is right here. This is called the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These are beautiful islands for diving, which are closer to Thailand mainland than they are to India mainland. But it's actually part of India. So if you ever want to go diving and check out a really cool island, Andaman and Nicobar is there as well. Cool, can we go to the next slide? Any guesses? What's the population of India? Too much? That's the right answer.
It's over a billion.
Over a billion, very good.
1.4.
1.4, spot on. So India is 1.4 billion people. To give you context, the world has 8 billion people. What that means is almost 1 in 5 people in the world live in India, and that doesn't include Indian origin people that are living overseas. So that's pretty wild to think about. All right, can we go to the next slide, please? Do people in India speak English? Any ideas? Like, do you think India has a fluent English-speaking population or not so much?
Yes, most.
Yeah? Yeah? Here's a clue. I'm from India, born and raised. Don't know how my English is coming across, hopefully fairly fluent. So if you go to the next slide, the British actually did a very good job at teaching us. Outside of the United States, India has the highest English-speaking population in the world. You can get around India speaking English. Of course, sometimes it might be broken English, accented English. The signboards are in English, menus are in English. English is one of our primary languages, up there with Hindi. And then every state has a regional language as well. Can we go to the next slide, please? It's also the number 4 economy in the world, but growing the fastest out of any country. So India is really on the rise. And if you're into investing like I am, then you could definitely look at buying India ETFs, as I have done. They have been my best performing assets over the last few years, as India just continues to blow up and start to get a lot more modern. So a couple of festivals to call out if anyone's interested in culture. So we have a festival called Holi. Put your hand up if you've played Holi before. Nice. Holi is a nice export. I'm seeing a lot of Holi parties all around the world. Even in the Vietnam Nomad Fest last year, they had a Holi party, which was cool. It's a festival of color. Diwali is a festival of light. It's when we light a bunch of candles and fireworks shows, but the fireworks are starting to reduce, which is nice to see. And can we go to the next slide? This is a really fun one. This is called Navratri. And Navratri is 9 nights of worshipping goddess energy. And my family, we have a family temple. You'll see it on the map on the southwest. There's a temple. And we have a family goddess. And so at Jungli, we actually celebrate this. And if you can just hit next again, the video should play. All right. So it's like women folk dance. And that's my mom killing it. And that's like a improv comedian from Mumbai who's also in the mix. So that's Jungli. It's a lot of artists and nomads coming together with my family and getting involved in the local traditions. You can go to the next slide, please. Cool. How's the infrastructure? A question I get quite a lot. It's actually improved quite a bit. So there's solid 5G and Wi-Fi. Vinny had a really fun story getting a SIM card in India, which we'll talk about over drinks. But there's solid 5G all over the country. And the Wi-Fi in hotels, cafes, co-livings is actually really solid. We have 200 Mbps Wi-Fi at Jungli, which is really solid. There's a lot of laptop-friendly cafes popping up as well. They're getting the program that if people have plug points and Wi-Fi, they stay for longer. So that's popping up. And also these new trains, these are so cool. I feel like I'm in Europe when I'm in these trains. Super smooth, plug points, USB charging, and sleeper buses as well. That's helping people get around. So India is actually getting a lot easier to get around these days. And every day new trains are launching, which is nice. How many flights go from Bangkok per week? Anyone want to take a guess? 60? That's pretty close. Anyone else? Going once, 60. Going twice. 80? Even closer? All right, we'll go to the next slide. So it's 100 flights that go from Bangkok direct to India per week at an average cost of 100 USD. So India's never been more accessible, and from India you can access Singapore, Doha, Paris, London, direct flights to all of these places I'm mentioning. All right. But what's the nomad scene like, right? This is just like some fun facts from Wikipedia, but what is it actually like on the ground? That's what I'm here to tell you about today. There are 4 main hotspots popping up in India today. So Goa is the most well-known. Put your hands up if you've been to Goa. Cool, 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 cool. Jungli is the newer one on the scene, but growing very quickly, as we showed you. Himachal is a real favorite of mine. Half my heart is in Himachal. I absolutely love it over there. And Sikkim is a new government project as well, a digital nomad village backed by the government in the mountains of Sikkim. So there is a bit of a scene starting to pop up. What I'm going to do is just give you a little bit of a quick overview of each of these spots and tell you the pros and cons so you can kind of like it'll help guide your decisions if you ever want to go to India. So Goa is what everybody talks about. The pros, beachy, super nice beaches. Actually, I have to say, one of the best beach experiences I've had all over the world is Goa, because it's warm water, really soft sand, and the differentiator is, because regulations are not as strict as like Australia and stuff, you can actually have beach shacks on the beach. So you can lie on the beach, work on your laptop, order a food, order a cocktail. You can even swim and then wave to the waiter saying, make my prawn curry now, so that by the time you're out, it's out piping hot. Indian hospitality is ridiculous. So that's one of the real cool parts about Goa. It's also very international, very diverse, and therefore a lot safer as well, where you're not going to get stared at for being a foreign girl if you're walking through Goa, because it's quite normal. A lot of good hostels, a lot of good co-livings popping up that I can recommend to you as well in Goa. Vibrant nightlife. So from night markets all the way to nightclubs and psytrance, it goes the whole gamut. And a very Portuguese and lazy vibe. So I don't know if you know this, all of India was under the British rule, but Goa was under Portuguese rule. Did you know that? Anyone? No? Yeah, some of you knew that. So that's a pretty fun thing. What it means is that a lot of the street signs are in Portuguese, a lot of the menus are in Portuguese, lots of the Goan locals speak Portuguese, and they also have taken the best parts of Portuguese lifestyle, like the siesta. Goa has a siesta, so that's pretty interesting. They've kept the lazy, laid-back life. All right, can we go to the next slide? The cons, right? Being really real over here. Some parts are overcrowded. This doesn't look like fun, and it's not fun. Indian domestic tourism is on the rise like never before after COVID. So we're starting to see 1.4 billion and what it really looks like, right? Taxis also will scam you. It's a professional sport. They don't allow Uber and Ola in Goa. So the best thing to do is rent a scooter and get around for around $5 a day. And the pleasant weather is only from October to Feb in Goa. It is very seasonal. Summer on the beach, hot, humid, sticky. Monsoon, they close the beaches because it's dangerous swell, so it's not very fun to be there in monsoon. And it is getting expensive. It's probably the most expensive place to be in India. Right, so what does the cost of living look like? Accommodation, you're looking at around 300 USD to 700 USD per month. So these lower ranges would be more like homestays, or you ask someone and they happen to have a room. And the higher ranges, I'm talking about Airbnbs or co-livings, right? With like full service. Food can range as low as 3 to 8 USD per meal. This is as expensive as India gets, by the way. And the thing though is that whenever you leave Goa, you realize you spend more money than you planned, because you do end up spending a lot on transport and on drinks. The party lifestyle does catch up. Cool. The next spot is Himachal. Himachal is a place very, very close to my heart. I've spent 6 months over there out of my 2 years backpacking India. 3 spots I want to call out for you if you're interested in visiting the beautiful Himalayas, which is what this is. Dharamshala is where the Dalai Lama lives. And it's a very cool kind of hippie haven with lots of hilly streets and yoga classes and sound healing and Tibetan food. Bir is just 2 hours east of Dharamsala, similar culture, paragliding capital of India. I've lived there for 3 months. And Nagar is another really cute, quaint town with a lot of cafes and waterfalls nearby that you could live in. If you could just hit play on this, I want to show you what India looks like, because you've been shown images from the media, and there is another side. This is me moving into a little homestay I got. I had to get my own table because they didn't have like a workspace table. Electric cycle. My local breakfast spot. And this is India. Like, it's in the India that they don't show you in the marketing. Pine forests. Paragliding scene, everybody's landing. There's a place called Landing where people land. Epic sunsets. Yeah. Very friendly dogs that'll follow you everywhere. I think that's it for now. We can skip to the next one. I just kind of wanted to show you a snippet of what nomad life in India can look like. And some pros of Himachal: really clean mountain air. A lot of people say it looks like Switzerland, but you have chai, which is a mind-blowing fact. And the mountains tend to attract great people. The creative community that live in cities tend to come over here. Next slide, please. What are the cons? It is the Himalayas. So November to March, it can be very cold and some parts can even be inaccessible due to snowfall. So that's something to keep in mind. June to September, some parts are affected by landslides during rainy season. There are other safe places to stay. So I've been there at this time and been absolutely fine. It's just a safety thing to keep in mind. And yeah, there are some avoidable pockets of Himachal which are full of just psytrance and a lot of hash. So if that's your scene, check it out, but it gets old quickly. So I just wanted to call that out. What about the cost of living? This is where it gets really good. As low as $100 per month for a room, right? And as high as $350 for like a co-living or a Airbnb sort of thing. Meals less than $1. My daily meal in Himachal used to be a veg thali. Put your hand up if you know what a thali is. Nice, you guys are brown. A thali is basically a sample of many, many little things and with unlimited refills usually as well. So like dal, vegetable stir fry called sabzi, roti, rice, pickle, yogurt, dessert. And I used to get that spread, very healthy, for 70 rupees, which is less than a US dollar. However, just going back 1 second, if you don't mind. One problem that does exist, if you do go for these affordable ones like I did, I was on a budget because I was traveling for 3 years, you may need to stitch some productivity or creativity conditions together. Like my place, as I said, it had a chair, but it had no table. I had to use the neighbor's Wi-Fi and get a Wi-Fi extender to have decent Wi-Fi. I didn't have a hot shower, I had a hot bucket bath. So if you're looking at this range, expect some compromises. But if you're happy to pay a little bit more, you can have all of those things integrated. Next slide, please. Oh, that's a great idea, putting it on your lap. This is the new project. I don't have many details about it, but it's called Yakten Nomad Village. I've spoken to the founder, seems like a lovely guy. And his idea is to connect nomads with locals, especially like tribal locals living in these hills, who have these beautiful homes, but their income is really low. So if a nomad lives there in their spare room with Wi-Fi, then they get an extra income. So it's a really nice like social impact initiative that he started. The initial reviews are positive. I've had a few Junglis, people from my community go and experience it and say good things, but it looks like they're just getting started. So community manager, all of those parts that Alt co-living, for example, does so well. Shout out to Guy and the team over here. Really some of the best community living I've ever experienced. They're still kind of on the path to nailing that. The stay is $275 US per month, and the food is around $2 to $4 US. Cool? But what are the problems? Okay, it's not all smooth sailing. It is India, and I want to be absolutely honest that I faced a lot of issues as I backpacked and Nomad Life to India, right? Finding a good spot is an art, not a science. If you're expecting to rock up to India, check on Airbnb or check on some neat aggregator and find all these secret homestays for $100 US because Divi said so, don't expect it, right? You kind of have to go make friends and ask a shopkeeper if they have a room and their brother's second cousin's driver's niece might have a spare room, and then you can get like a good spot. So it can be a little bit of a hustle. Getting a monthly deal takes negotiation. People aren't used to people booking out rooms for a month. So they'll give you their daily rate, and then you have to tell them that I'll book it for a month, and it takes a bit of negotiation, which can take a bit of language skills. So that may not be as easy for you to do as it was for me. So you got to keep that in mind. But with a local friend, a lot of doors open up. And affordable spots may not have workspaces, Wi-Fi, hot showers all in one, like as I was saying. And also, if it's very affordable, it could be that it's far from town. So it could be that you then need to add a transport cost to get a scooter or a taxi to go and get food. What about problems that foreigners face, right? These are problems I face, and I'm Indian origin, right? So if you're a foreigner, it can be a little bit clunky getting a SIM card. It can take a couple of hours sometimes, unfortunately. The system is just a lot of security steps, right? ATMs can be a little bit moody, so you gotta be patient. Booking bus and train tickets, so unfortunate. It can be almost impossible. It's getting better, but it can be really tough, but a local friend can always book it for you, right? And there's, of course, the elephant in the room. So can we go to the next slide? The elephant in the room is safety for women, and I really want to take a second to acknowledge this, right? So solo female travelers, when I was in Australia, there were badass independent women in vans traveling, being young, wild, and free, and it was so nice to see that. Then I came back to my home country, and it's unfortunately not the same. There are solo female travelers traveling India, but they do have to be a little bit wary. They do have to look over their back. They do tend to prefer to travel with somebody, and that's heartbreaking for me as someone from home. I don't want that situation, but it is just what it is. In saying that, I know a lot of women that travel India that have especially come through Jungli and my network, and they do, of course, travel India without any major incident, which is nice to see. Of course, there are some that have had really bad incidents that end up in the news, and that's terrible. I'm not taking that away from the reality, but most women end up with the most problems that they end up with is like men staring. Staring is a thing. As much as like, yeah, guys might stare at foreign girls more, Indians just stare. It's just like a thing that the locals do. I'm not saying India doesn't like nib with an eye. It's a very stratified country, so people that might have not been as exposed or privileged, they just end up just like, this just like that's just a professional sport, like watching time pass. Then sometimes they might ask you for pictures, especially foreign girls. They might ask for a little picture, a little selfie, and you can say no, and they'll most likely it'll all be good, but those things may make you not feel safe. And I do want to call out that that is a bit of a reality. If you are looking to travel India as a solo female traveler and just free roam and just figure it out as you go, I would say try and talk to someone local like me, try and get some tips, try and get some friends, or I have a solution for you, as you know, which I'll talk about soon. So I was sitting down with my family and I said, if we're going to launch Jungli, the biggest problem we want to face is this. It's just heartbreaking that women can't travel India feeling free. So my family and I came together and we asked a question. How can we make India easier and safer for women to travel? So we can't control the country, we know that, but we can control our little bubble and a few touch points in this little bubble. So I want to show you 3 things that we do at Jungli to make it just a little bit safer for women traveling India, and we're getting very positive feedback about it. First things first, I'm a dude, my dad's a dude, most of my team is male. So we're not the right people to be making decisions. We need to be taking input from women. And so we've set up a WhatsApp group called the Women of Jungli. We have more than 150 people in there. And while setting up Jungli, we actively asked questions and took input from them. Even when women come to our co-living and we have family meetings, just like you do. It's so nice to join your family meetings, so well run. And even when we run ours, we ask women over there, what could we have done better with all of your steps coming here? Couple of things that have come out of it. Number one, it's a really small one that happened recently that just popped into my mind. But one of our female volunteers, Mantasha, she said, why don't we have sanitary pads in the Jungli store? Like how you guys have the toothbrushes downstairs, we have a similar store. And so we now have sanitary pads there. It's such a small gesture, but it sends a loud message that this is an establishment that's female friendly, and we're not going to align ourselves with the other taboos that the rest of India can sometimes align with. Next one. This is super important. The flight from Bangkok to Bangalore transferring to the airport closest to us is all a controlled environment. But when those doors open and you go from the controlled environment of an airport to the madness of India, that's when you can sometimes be the most vulnerable, is what a lot of women told us, right? Because you might be jet lagged, you may not know the currency, you may not know the language, and there's 15 men yelling taxi, taxi, taxi at you. So that's a touch point we really wanted to solve for. So now what we do is before people come to Jungli, we understand what we have a form, they send us their tickets and everything like that, and we connect them with the driver with his photo and a vehicle photo beforehand, and he says in the message that he'll be holding a Jungli signboard at the exit of the airport. So when you walk out, you can have confidence that this is your cab, jump into the car, you don't even need to pay him, it just gets added to your Jungli tab, so you don't need to stop at an ATM and have another risk point come up. So those are the little things that a lot of our female community have told us that's really helped make a difference. And the third one is we're not publicly bookable, right? So if anyone wants to book a Jungli, you won't find us on Airbnb, you won't find us on booking.com. Everyone has to go through our website and then apply to stay. After they apply to stay and they tell us what is their intention to stay and do they align with our clean co-living principles. We don't have an alcohol license, we're not looking to get an alcohol license, and we have a zero drugs policy. Jungli is a place where people come with goals and they leave as a better version of themselves. They come for yoga, productivity, creativity, wellness, right? So, sorry, can you go back one sec? After the written interview, they actually have to pass a video interview. Every applicant at Jungli has to speak to Geetika. Geetika is our amazing marketing manager, also known as our tribe queen. And that's Dobby, her sales manager on the left. And it's only when Geetika passes, lets you pass the vibe check that you get an invite and offer of residency to stay at Jungli. We're not even on Google Maps. It's a secret location. So that's how seriously we take our exclusivity. That's all right, we'll just wait a second. Thanks, bro. Cool. So If you can go to the next slide. This is Esther, and I just thought it might be nice for you, especially a solo female traveler in the room, to hear from another solo female traveler. This is someone that's traveled across India 3 times, been to Dharamshala, been to Goa, been to Mysore, done yoga courses, done massage courses, and also happened to visit Jungli now 3 times. So if you don't mind just hitting play on that, bro.
Hi, my name is Esther. I'm a traveler, I'm a musician. So this is actually my 3rd time traveling India. I remember the first time I was very scared, like what is this crazy big country? Am I safe as a woman? I find the key for traveling in India is finding a safe place and staying there for a while. So for me, Jungli really offers that space where I can connect to the nature. Like it's just a beautiful property. There's lots of lush forests. There's some wildlife to explore. It's my 2nd time here actually, and what I really remember most is the friendliness of all the people here, like the staff. Everyone is so kind, and they treat me like family. So I come here, they take care. I have like a gluten intolerance, and they always make sure I have something to eat. And that's, I think, is the key for me as a female traveler. A place to feel safe, where I don't have to worry about how do I get from A to B. I know I get picked up at the airport, someone is there, I don't have to worry about it. When I came here, I didn't have a SIM card, and it was fine. I don't have to worry about cooking. I know upfront how much I'm going to spend. So all my basic needs are taken care of, and I have the opportunity to create, make some music, maybe catch up on some work I have to do, or just relax. This is what Jungli offers, and I really recommend it, especially for female travelers, as a safe place to just feel at home.
Cool. Next slide, please. So the thing though is, as much as this bubble is nice and that we've got a drop in the ocean now going in India, how can we scale this? How can we make India more accessible outside of Jungli's walls? So this is what I'm working on. This is my next project. And you might see that it's a screenshot. You can go to the next slide, please. It's a screenshot from a Google Doc because that's how much it's still a work in progress. But my team and I, my family and I, are creating the Jungli Trail. So this is going to be a nomad trail through India of select co-livings that I've personally stayed at, and ensuring they have high-speed Wi-Fi, great community vibes, and they do actively invest in safety for women, either by having women in their team, airport pickup or drop off, or filtering the crowd. And I'm really, really happy to say that after my recent solo trip through Goa, we've now got 2 partner properties in Goa. One's called Odd Table in Mandram in the north, and one's called 360 Agonda in the south. I know the owners, they've become really good friends, and they really care about hospitality as much as we do. So that means that you can now land in either of these airports, have a safe place to stay, and then come into Jungli, or land in Jungli from the airport closest to us, and then go to one of those places. And as time goes, I'm going to be adding more co-livings as I travel more of India and helping make India even more accessible for all of you. Next slide, please. So just to wrap it up, guys, thanks so much. You've been such a patient crowd, and I hope this has not been too much information. But just the last few slides, a little bit about Jungli. If you're interested in checking out our nomad village, I'm going to give us a pros and cons analysis, just like I did for the other spots. The good things about Jungli is we have good weather largely all year round. Because we're 300 meters high and covered in rainforest, unlike Goa, which is on the beach, sea level, we have a totally different climate to Goa. So in the summer, it's not as sticky. It can get a little hot, of course, but it's not as sticky and humid. And monsoon can be beautiful, watching the rainforest turn green. But of course, there's a little bit of rain in monsoon, so I am acknowledging that. The other positive thing about Jungli is a really high caliber and diverse community is coming home because of the filtration process and because of the way we positioned ourselves. So that's really nice to see our family home turn into a place for productivity and creativity. 0 meters from the forest, that's our differentiator. We are where Wi-Fi meets wildlife. We have deer that come near the pool. We have lots of hornbills, lots of monkeys, lots of peacocks, and even some exciting big cats that are known to wander through the property, which is super cool. And we're fully staffed with meals, which means that you end up getting 2 hours back per day. All that time in cooking or laundry or hunting for the right restaurant or figuring out transport, my massive 55-person team does that for you so that you get time back. The cons, we are a remote location. This is the best thing about us and the worst thing about us. The best thing because you get silence and peace and quiet, which can be hard to get in India. But worst thing because it's a little bit of an adventure to get there. The closest airport is an hour and a half away, but we send a car and pick you up. Also, it means, like a lot of people ask, does that mean you're in the middle of the jungle and there's nothing around? So the town of Dandeli is actually grown around my great-grandfather's factory campus because it was the source of employment. So the local market's only 2.5 kilometers away. So we have supermarkets, delivery, restaurants, all that stuff just 2.5 kilometers away. But it's not a big city, it's a cute little town. And yeah, monsoon in July and August, as I called out, it is beautiful watching the forest turn green. But if you want to do a lot of outdoor activities, the rain might get in the way. And yeah, it is a touch more expensive than DIY or do-it-yourself Nomad Life because we're charging a premium in order to stitch all of those things together to give remote professionals back some time. So just showing you like what it looks like. You can go to the next slide. This is Big the Bungalow, which is our premium co-living. It has 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, fully staffed, co-working, dining area, swimming pool, and it can cost as low as $560 USD per month, including all 3 meals, and flex all the way up to $810 for a private room with a balcony, with a private balcony looking out over the forest. You can go to the next slide. This is our recently launched co-living called Serene, the Art House. It was a guest house of the factory turned into a co-living for artists. It's got 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. It's got a co-working space. It does not have staff. That's one of the ways we can make it a bit more affordable. It's a bit more of a DIY vibe, but you can just walk to Big and have meals. So Big is the one I showed you earlier, right? And that starts at $475 USD per month for a room with all your 3 meals included. So that gets pretty affordable. And this one is called Soch. So Soch is a beautiful mansion that my grand uncle created in the 70s. He was a lover of the arts. So a lot of famous musicians from India have lived there, performed there, and created art pieces and left them on the wall. So Soch is a space you can go to for thinking, for solitude, for meditation. And it also has a yoga shala at the back, an aerial yoga shala now. So that's a nice like third space to have that's not a living space. Next slide, please. And we just recently launched villas as well. So if you don't want to live in a co-living, if it's a bit too social for you, we have 3 villas live with another 2 coming up soon, which is a 2-bedroom villa with 2 bathrooms. It's fully furnished with a kitchen, so think like Airbnb style in the jungle. And it's renting out for $435 USD per month. That does not include meals. The villas don't include meals, only the co-livings do. But if you ever want a meal, you can let us know. And it's just $3 for a meal at Big the Bungalow. Guys, that's all from me. You've been so patient. Thank you so much. I hope this was informative for you. If you want to stay in the loop, I'll take questions in a second. If you want to stay in the loop, you can follow us on Instagram. That's my personal music page, Divi the Audio, and Jungli the Nomad is the Instagram page for Jungli. And also, if you're registered, then you'll automatically get an email with an invite to join our WhatsApp community and just get involved and help inform our evolution. Thanks, guys. Cheers. All right. You look, I had a question?
From Goa, how far is it?
Yeah, good question, man. So it's only 3 hours inland of Goa. Yeah, so there's an airport in Goa called Dabolim in South Goa. If you land there, it's 3 hours inland of Goa. Yeah.
And you have like a minimum stay. I always like renting out per month because you have like fees per month.
Yeah, that's again a good question. So actually, unlike Alt, we don't have a minimum stay because it's such an adventure to get to us that people that get to us end up staying for a while anyway. But yeah, most people, because we want a community spirit, we give a 15% discount if people stay for a week and a 25% discount if people stay for a month. So a lot of people end up staying for months, which is really nice to see. Our longest tenure is Greg from Canada, who's currently still at Jungli and stepped up to be our community manager. And he's past 100 days. So he's past 3 months. A bit like Enos, who was over here for a similar duration. Yeah. Yes, please.
If it is like very low to and it kind of focuses on the area, what are people doing there in their spare time the whole month?
Yeah.
You have like activities that you are organizing, how are spending time?
Yeah, absolutely. So you mean the nomads, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we have two kinds of activities. We have activities inside the Jungli campus, such as a walk to the riverbank or visiting the temple or a longer hike to a really big, beautiful riverbank, or even like a campus tour and even a guided factory tour. That factory my great-granddad set up, it's still there. It's just rusted and epic and great for film shoots, great for Halloween raves. We might have thrown a Halloween rave in there. So there's a lot of activities that the community just comes up with in the family meeting, just like you guys do. And then there's also activities outside campus, because we really want to support the Dandeli economy, right? So for example, whitewater rafting is what Dandeli is really known for. It's one of the best spots in the world for whitewater rafting. Beautiful river with lots of birds on the way and very gentle, very beginner friendly as well. So rafting's a good one. There's a safari, there's an elephant camp. It's quite nature oriented, and in fact I get a vibe that a lot of people that are attracted to Chiang Mai would be attracted to Jungli, because all the activities here kind of look quite similar.
Thank you.
No problem.
I need to get into my homework. It's really, really nice.
Of course. Oh, thank you so much, Julia. You're so welcome. Did you have a question? Oh, sorry.
Actually,
Yeah, sure.
what type of, where do people come from as of now?
Oh, yeah. So 60% of our revenue comes from guests from India, and 40% of our revenue comes from guests from overseas at the moment. From those that come from overseas, top countries are US, Canada, Australia at the moment. And then there's like a long tail of people that have come from all over the world, from Italy. We had 2 girls from the Netherlands recently. I have the data in my dashboard. I can always pull up the stats, but yeah, it's a nice widespread of people from all over the place. One of the things that's a bit different to, for example, Alt or any other co-living is that because the Indian nomad scene is on the rise, you'll actually get to meet a lot of nomads from India as well, that are entrepreneurs or remote professionals that are creating something. So there's a really nice cross culture that's happening of Indian nomads showing other nomads the way, and even friendships that form, and then it's like, okay, bye Jungli, we're all going to Goa together. And so then someone might come as a solo traveler and leave as like 6 solo travelers that end up going to Goa for their next steps or the next adventure, which is really nice to see.
For Wi-Fi, is Starlink available now, or you?
Right.
Is it a good deal to have Starlinks, or you just have to connect since you are 500 Zango per day?
Of course.
Problem to connect.
Yeah, so Starlink isn't yet live in India. However, we've got really solid internet sorted because I got an internet consultant on before we launched Jungli, and I told my team we can run out of water, but we can never run out of Wi-Fi. And they laughed, but I'm really serious about Wi-Fi. I'm crazy about it. So what we've done is we've actually got 2 internet service providers. One is called Airtel, and the other is called BSNL. And they actually aggregate in a little box. So you get 100 Mbps from one, 100 Mbps from the other, and it outputs 200 Mbps. And so what that does is if one server goes down or one ISP goes down, the other one kicks in and you still have 100. We've also then built a ring of internet around Jungli. There's like a circle of internet that goes around. So what that does is if a tree falls or a monkey jumps on one of the cables, jungle problems, and it breaks, so the internet can then actually go the other way. So the guest will never know there's been a break, but my team gets an alert that there's a line break and we got to fix it. So we've had next to 0 downtime ever since we launched internet at Jungli, and it averages 200 Mbps. What's up?
I could say something about my experience.
Yeah, dude, Vinny, how was your time over there?
So yeah, I stayed at Jungli for 2 weeks. And
In our 3rd month, I think. We had just launched, yeah.
there you go. So I was working online and could only travel on weekends. But it was an epic trip to go like a bit more than a month, flying to Bangalore. Jungli is about here.
Yeah, right there.
So 1 week Bangalore, Jungli 2 weeks. There's like temples and stuff out here. I'm a rock climber as well. There's a rock.
Humpy.
Epic rock climbing in Humpy.
Yeah.
Head to Goa, like easy connection from bus, and then up to Mumbai. And that's like a month and a half worth of travel. And I saw so many different facets of India because yeah, there's beach, jungle, city, and then crazier city.
Yeah.
All the like sights and sounds of India.
Yeah.
And also like all the food changes. And yeah, the Indian hospitality is something that was so different from like you would get anywhere else in Asia. So yeah, I had a really incredible time. It's like
Nice, man. We loved having you.
yeah, there is a little bit of like like bumps in the road, but
Yeah.
you do become a little bit more self-reliant, and you know, now I'm traveling Thailand, it's super easy.
Yeah, of course. It makes you appreciate Thailand. Thailand is such a smooth country for tourists and travelers. They've done such a great job.
Yeah.
Places like Alt are the global standard. I'm here because John Ho and I, the founder of Alt and I, we share the same business mentor. So he keeps telling me I got to talk to John and experience Alt. So I'm here to learn from John and have a bit of a knowledge exchange. And you know, globally, all of us help have the best co-livings available for nomads. Yeah. Cheers, man. It was fun having you. All right, guys. I think if there's no other questions, anyone have a question? No? All good? All right. Let's do a show of hands again. Who's interested to come to India? Cool. And who still has apprehensions about India? And it's okay if you do. Still have some apprehensions, that's normal. But it's good to see that overall, you know, hopefully some apprehensions have been a little stemmed. The biggest way we can help you is our WhatsApp group. So you will get an email to join. And then we have a WhatsApp group called Jungli Magic, where you can say like, hey, I'm Jules, I'm looking to come to India. I'm landing on this date. Anyone want to get a coffee? And it's really nice to see like the community and the way it's spreading, helping like welcome people even outside of Jungli.
How about internal flights? You know, we always
Yeah.
see the scenes of like people on the trains, like
Yeah.
if I want to see Varanasi, for instance.
Yeah.
And then it's easy to jump from a plane there.
Yeah, for sure. So we have to remember the media likes to show you images that are click-worthy, right? And a neat flight of Indians sitting there is not as exciting as a Mumbai local train with like 25 people out hanging out of the either side. So the planes in India are really solid. I mean, there's an airport right near us called Hubli. So from Hubli, which is the one closest to Jungli, you can get to every major city like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, and even Ahmedabad and even Chennai. Cities you may not know. And from there, you can take one more transfer flight and you get to the airport closest to Varanasi, which name I don't know off the top of my head, but my recent guests from Germany, Jesko and Ruth, they actually did just that trip. They went from Jungli to Varanasi. So that's very possible. And flights will average cost around 50 to 70 US dollars. Yeah.
What about individual transfer? Like I like to ride motorcycles.
Oh, nice.
Is that a possibility?
Yes, we have I swear we need to make a subgroup in the Jungli community for you guys, the biker club. So I want to tell you a fun fact. As Vinny said, Goa is here, Hampi is here. Hampi is a beautiful UNESCO heritage site full of rock climbers and temples. In the middle is Jungli. So we get a lot of bikers that like to bike from Goa to Hampi, but stop their travel and stay at Jungli for a night. And we love having them. They're full of adventures and stories. That's why we also don't have a minimum stay, because we lose those, cool nomads passing through. So yeah, there's a strong biking scene. My German friend Pavi, Indian-German guy, lives in Goa and can help guide you with how to rent the right Royal Enfield. Have you heard of the Royal Enfield? The Bullet? Yeah, epic bikes. So we can help you with that, no worries.
And
Yeah.
people hire it without licenses, just like here, a little bit.
Yeah, India's a bit
You
wild.
don't have to pay off the cops, but it's like $2 to pay off the cops.
Yeah.
I wish I knew before, because I think I gave the dude $50. And
50 AUD.
I give him 50 USD
Oh shit.
to pay off the cop.
That's his salary, bro.
Yeah. And then the cop was nice enough to give me half of it back.
Oh my god, he gave you change.
He asked me like, oh, do you need gas on the way home? And I'm like, yeah. And he gave me half back. And you're like, dude, you only meant to give him $2.
Yeah. He's like, please bribe me fairly.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Awesome, guys. Let's wrap it up. And I think we have a movie night happening with Steven, who's picked Buraka. Thanks, man. Very cool topical theme continuing on. But really appreciate all of you coming and hope that was helpful for you. No worries. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Vinny. Legend. Thanks a lot, Niv, for helping with check-in and coconuts. If anyone wants more coconuts, we have plenty.
50 staff.
Yes, 55, yeah.
Usually how many guests?